You can tell so much about these dudes by the way they text you. I remember thinking when I got a text from an ex-boyfriend of mine, I knew the moment he started sending texts this lazy that we were done. Like, I was hoping I was wrong, but I was like, wait, what? This is weird. Why is he not like punctuating his sentences anymore? What happened to like poetic texts? What happened to uppercase letters? Because this just reads like lazy. And whenever men are being lazy in your relationship, the root of that is usually entitlement. They don't care. Either they just don't like you at all, or they're gotten real comfortable, and so they're not going to make any more effort. What made me think about this was this thread I saw today of how this man was using text to break her down, to get her to accept the bare minimum. I swear, like, I used to underestimate how much men are doing. They may not even be saying, I'm going to be lazy in my text. I'm going to make her wait so that I can get her used to the lowest amount of effort, whatever. What? Sometimes I'm like, is he seeing a ghost? What? There's literally nothing. I don't really think that most men are even that calculated consciously, but they're absolutely subconsciously that calculated. And the reason I know this is because when you grow up under patriarchy, the same way when you grow up in whiteness, there is just a power structure that you understand in your bones, right? You understand the hierarchy. You understand who has the power. You know it because you've been seeing it in everything, every movie, every TV show, in every dynamic in the culture at large, collectively. You know this dynamic exists. You know that you hold more power. So even if a white person, for instance, isn't like, I'm going to do this to weaponize my tears, they may not even have that thought, but they just know to do it. And men are the same. They just know, well, I have the upper hand here. I'm the man. This bitch needs me, I don't need her, so I'm going to put her in her place through lazy texting, through weaponizing competence. I'm actually going to show 2 examples in this of what this looks like when you're actually like in the early dating stages, or even going on the first date stage, or later on through how they pack your lunch. So I saw this thread today. She says, this is literally why I don't date. This man has been begging to take me out for months. I have dealt with this before. On and off, and when finally given the opportunity to take me out, he refused to make plans. The jokes write themselves at this point. So at first I thought, like, we're just going to deconstruct this bit by bit, because what I've realized is that men who do not use question marks, periods, upper and lower. Oh, well, here he starts with a capital G. Like, and if this is between friends, if this is between, like, this man hasn't even gone on a date with her yet. Hasn't even gone, and he is texting this freaking lazy. Now we're also going to compare it to how she got a sitter. So I thought that he was saying, I got a sitter, but then I can tell from the context of what she added plus this response that that's a question. So I haven't talked about this in a long time. I don't really talk about dating all that much. Maybe I should, because I know some people still date. I know a lot of people follow me like have just given up, or maybe they're married or divorced or whatever. One of the things I learned really quickly from my tender bender is that if he is too lazy to write a decent text, to, put a period, there's one text that I got. I should show y'all some of these texts. I've kept them, screenshots of them. It was DTF, no question mark, no words, just DTF. So I had to Google it. What does that mean? It means down to fork. So not only did he not want to write the words out, he didn't even bother with a question mark. So my response was, well, if you're too lazy to put a question mark, then you're definitely going to be too lazy to eat my kitty cat. So immediately I would just block those guys. Because, if you're literally this lazy already and we haven't even met up, what on earth makes you think that you're going to do anything for me but bring me stress and use me? So I would get it in writing. Are you going to eat my... Because you can't come over unless you take care of her, because I became vicious on these apps because I was so tired of this crap. So right out of the gate, no question mark. So she's got a sitter. But she says, but do you still don't have plans? And then he follows up the next day. Look at that. A whole 26 hours later, I think. almost in your city. So he's already like shown up. He's like, oh cool, we're good. She apparently had said like, make plans, right? She had made that pretty clear. That's what she wanted. This guy, it does all this nonsense. And then just, in your city, what does it say? Mall or UVA pep rally-ish. So obviously I don't understand the entire, what the hell this means, but he's almost there. I don't know if he wants to meet at the mall. UVA, I assumed, is a college. She says here, UVA equals capital U, capital V, capital A, like university. So again, too lazy to type out capitals, letters. And again, you know what? If these people already knew each other, if like whatever, but they haven't even been on their first date, and he is just too lazy. So he proposes this, what, a mall or the university area or something? I don't even know what this means. If somebody knows what this means, please tell me. Free tonight? Oh, now he's got a question mark. Oh, thank you. I literally told you I got a sitter. So she's already said, I got a sitter. She has child care. Now this would really piss me off because clearly she's a single mom. And, getting a babysitter is not an easy thing. So the fact that she has child care lined up means she's already in. And he's just like, free tonight? Perfect. And then, instead of actually, I don't know, looking into it, like literally finding anything, IDK, what's there to do? See this right here. I don't know. So I would think if he said, I don't know what there is to do, that would be a statement. And this is why I hate this stuff. But I'm assuming he's actually asking her, because what's there to do is not a sentence. That is a question. What's there to do? I don't know, comma, or period. What's there to do? No bothering. So she's like, so you still made no plans. Notice that she is writing complete sentences, maybe leaving off the period every once in a while. But when you leave off a period in the middle of a sentence, and this is how my abusive ex used to text. That's how I always knew when he started texting me from a burner phone to try to meet up with me, and to tell me that from Jake, the fake guy. I've shown this before. That he was posing as a guy named Jake to give me a letter from my ex who had hung himself from a tree, according to Jake. But I knew right away that this is my ex because of the way he texted. No periods. I'm supposed to decode a whole paragraph. God, it was maddening. So you still made no plans? Not yet. I live in the moment. Oh God, how many times have I heard that? Men say this all the time. I just live in the moment. I live in the present. Why do you worry so much? Why are you always living in the future? Live in the now. Have you read The Power of Now? Eckhart Tolle or whatever? I forget his name. I read that when I was like 20, and I was like, that's the solution to all my problems. Live in the present. You know what? Living in the present means you will never be able to pay your bills. Oh my God. I get it, obviously. Live in the present. But this is what men will say to you if they're saying this when you're dating, watch out when you're married. I live in the moment means you're never going to get a birthday present. You're never going to get Mother's Day present if you risk your life having this man's child. I live in the moment. Oh, I didn't think about it. They don't live in the moment when it comes to sports. Guess who plans ahead for that? Guess who has a whole draft for fantasy football? Guess who makes sure that they have enough beer in the fridge all the time? Because they're planning ahead. But they live in the moment when it comes to showing up for anything that you need or want, because having no expectations of men is the goal. They don't want you to expect they don't want to be reliable. They don't want you to expect anything from them. And this man is setting her up to have no expectations of him. And he's hoping she's desperate enough to make this deal with the devil. I love this. Well, you have fun with that. I love this. No. Oh, now he's not. No. Oh, wait, you're not going to meet up with me? You're not going to fall for this? We'll watch the game tomorrow. I'm at this audacity. Watch the game. You want to go on a date and have this person watch a game with you? I tell you, so many men want you so that you can watch them do what they like to do. They might as well get a dog. My dog watches me all the time. It's maddening. I'm like, can you just stop watching me? They want a dog. They don't want you. They want you to stay at home and watch them do what they want to do, but not participate, not talk to them, not be involved. Or they want to go do whatever they want with their friends and you stay home and take care of everything. They do not want a partner. They want a dog. They want unconditional love, like a dog or like their mother. They don't want a partner. They don't want to have to work for anything. They don't have to do anything. They just think because they have been taught under patriarchy that they are the prize. Even though you have all the labor, you literally are the prize. You make their life so much better in every way possible. Right? Like the delusion that they are so valuable and that we're just supposed to, as long as we get picked, it's all good. So they're hoping that you believe this. And she was like, I will not be doing that. I love this. Well, why not? No question mark again. I have plans with me, cancel on him. And see, this right here, men are so, like, they reveal a lot. He can't imagine that her plans might be about anything other than men, right? Because men don't usually have plans other than maybe their hobbies and stuff. He can't imagine anything outside of obsessing over playing games with women. Like, men are so bored. They have nothing to do. They don't have like close relationships with the other. If they go hang out, they just like fork off and talk about nothing. It probably literally never occurred to him that she might have plans, like maybe an artist date with herself. Maybe she was gonna, go to the spa. Maybe she's gonna go out with her girlfriends. Maybe she's gonna go see family. Maybe she's gonna take a dance class. He just assumes that her life revolves around men the way his revolves around getting women, which is usually for men about male approval and the advantages he's going to get from that, from being with a woman. It's not really, they don't really obsess about us, right? Most of them are not obsessing about us. They don't care. It's a game and it's about their ego. And it always will be unless they really deal with this patriarchy piece of entitlement and any of their trauma or whatever they've had from childhood. Because I promise you, every single man who's raised under patriarchy has a lot of patriarchal trauma from other men mostly and other boys. And all of the violence they experience, getting all that, any soft part of themselves beaten out of them. But they don't want to deal with that. They want to terrorize you. They want to be the Biff and you're the George McFly. They want to live in person to bully so they can get the promise of patriarchy is to be a king. Each of them have a king of their own little castle. And so all of this is him testing her. And again, he may not be like, I'm going to test her to see if, this is just, it's instinctive at this point. There's no him to cancel on, and I'm not wasting time on someone who has already wasted mine. Again, she's punctuating, capital letters. I told you to make concrete plans, and you don't. I even got a sitter. I will not be going out with you. Now, as much as I used to love this moment of being like, you know what? You make me, don't do this. I suggest not even doing this because this is actually teaching men stuff. And I thought it was like some sort of noble work at one point in time that I'm teaching them how to date. Because even though I'm not interested, maybe they will learn with time how to date. Why? Why would I teach them that? They're not paying me. I swear, if I got paid for all of the lessons that I taught men in terms of how to be a decent communicator, how to... And I'm not even a great communicator myself. I had to learn that. I'm still learning that. But I realized I'm way better than them, most of them. And so back to my ex, he was an amazing communicator. He was so, I'm more like a dude in relationships, honestly, and I love that for me. Sometimes it's like a little extreme. But I remember my ex, he was so thoughtful, so caring. Whenever he gave gifts, they were so specialized to me. He'd send me care packages with things that I had mentioned. All this stuff. He's also French, right? So it's all about like the seduction part, and I'm making gross generalizations. But he kept pursuing me, and this was long distance too, right? And then as soon as I committed, we had about a month or two there that was great, and then the text started getting more and more like this. I knew we were done. I knew something was off. And then, of course, we were over within a couple months because I could tell his effort changed. I was now pursuing him instead of him pursuing me. And so many men will do that, especially, and I don't think that this guy is a bad dude, but he had so much trauma he would not deal with. He had no friends, which is honestly probably what inspired me to write that article, Men Have No Friends and Women Bear the Burden, the one that went viral, and do all that reporting on it, because I had to lecture this man regularly. Stop telling me all your stop telling me all your insecurities. Stop telling me everything you're afraid of. Discuss this with someone else, and then let's talk about it, because I am processing this stuff with a friend so I can come into these conversations more clear. He wouldn't do it. Didn't have any friends. I was like, talk to your sister, talk to anyone. And so he spent all this time pursuing. And when I finally gave in, we lasted a couple months before all of his stuff. He was a pothead. He was avoiding so much stuff. This is why I don't date men long distance. I swear to God. You will not know who you're dating until it's too late. It works out every once in a while, but really, I had no idea. Anyway, it all started with, as soon as his text started changing, I started to notice right after that, all the effort started changing. The amount of time, how often he was texting, what he was saying, how he wouldn't, he didn't come and visit me when my dad died. One of my friends was like, if my boyfriend's dad died, I would be on the first plane. And he would do the same for me. Where is your boyfriend? And I was like, I don't know. Because I was in Spain at the time. I was like, France is kind of far away. She was like, no, it's not. It's right there. She was right. And I'm so glad I had friends in my ear. You need friends like that who are like, what? That's not okay. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess this is a big deal. Where is he? So if this is early on, this is before the date, you're screwed. If this is a few months in, starts doing this, you're screwed. I'm not saying this can't happen every once in a while if he's in the middle of something, right? But if it's consistently is this lazy, especially if it wasn't before, that man doesn't care. By the way, she added this. Y'all, the craziest part is he asked me about this specific date over a month ago. He agreed to make plans if I found a sitter. So that was the deal, right? She really wanted him to make plans. And he said he would as soon as she found a sitter. She found a sitter. And he still didn't make any plans. How hard is it to make plans? Literally just look up a restaurant, dude. This is why I say most men are losers, and I say to myself, I'm literally not missing anything by refusing to date them. Not men like this, which leads me to this woman. This went pretty viral. She forgot her lunch. So they are married, and this is the lunch version of lazy texting. This is I'm going to make the least amount of effort. I'll do what you want me to do, but I'm going to make sure I hate doing it. I don't want to do it. And don't ask me again, because I don't care. This low effort, no effort laziness is always rooted in entitlement or they just don't like you. They don't. What did he... Oh my God. So just so you know, he sent this huge bag. So I was like, I thought, oh, maybe this is going to be good. This is a video of her showing what husbands are capable of. But she pulls out this thing of cookies, a whole bag of cookies. Again, couldn't be bothered to put them into a container where they wouldn't get smashed, first of all. A container so they're portioned out like Center 2. Because honestly, I don't know if this is other women, but I don't want an entire bag of cookies, right? I am ADHD. I like to chew on things. And sometimes if you give me a whole bag, I might eat the whole thing without even realizing it. If you're not being mindful when you eat, if I'm not paying attention, I'll be like, oh my God, right? Whole bag of cookies, great. Okay, if this is the dessert, fine, maybe. Then a almost empty bag of pretzels. So great, we have a dessert and a tiny snack that's not very filling. Pretzels are not filling. Oh, he did bring an apple. Wow, how, and again, it's an apple. That is literally the easiest thing to pack. A banana you might want to put in a container so it doesn't get smashed. Berries you'd have to portion out in a Tupperware. Something else you might have to cut or whatever, peel or whatever, but no, an apple. The laziest possible fruit option you could send. 0 effort. An entire thing of Pringles or whatever. Again, and she points out, she was like, not just a portion, the whole thing. And this whole video, she's like, this is what you're going to get from your husbands if he brings you to lunch. No, this is what you are going to get. This is what women who are married to men who do this kind of shit are going to get. But this is not what all women are getting for their lunches. My husband would never pack something like this for me for lunch. If anything, sometimes I'm annoyed at how much he cares. And I'm like, I don't care. But he's more of the nurturer. And then another bag of cookies. All of these are things that don't require any effort by sending the entire bag. Can't be bothered to portion any of this out. He could have had a tiny Tupperware with a few of each cookies. Nope, that takes time and effort. And then he sent her a 2-day-old Chipotle. Zero effort whatsoever. It's probably not even good anymore. And then to top it all off, he sent the only thing that he could be bothered to get a Ziploc bag and portion out was dog food. Look at this. Because you're my dog. Purposely spelling dog wrong. Now, maybe this is an inside joke. I hope to God for her this is an inside joke. Maybe they call each other their dogs. But I don't think so. Thanks, Trev. Love you so much. Thanks, really, for putting the thought into. Like, this is a woman who's clearly is very frustrated with this man's behavior and went online to share with us. But this is also oftentimes the same woman who, when this kind of stuff goes viral, will make a video a day later being like, no, it was a joke. Like, he really usually packs a... Yo, I would never make this video. Like, at this point, you have to know that if you make a video like this, you're going to get honest feedback from women who've dealt with so much of this. They're going to be like, that man doesn't love you. And if this was like a one-off, if he did this once and the dog thing is a joke and he was like in a hurry, like there's always maybe a little bit of nuance in here. But she doesn't seem surprised by that. This is why she did an unboxing of her lunchbox. She knew it would be ridiculous. And this is what's so frustrating is because, and again, I haven't seen any follow-ups yet. Maybe there is one. But every time something like this goes viral, and then women rightfully point out how fucked up this is. Usually, and I get why, you got a lot on the line. I get that it's going to take you a while to realize just how messed up this is. Usually there's a video later on saying that we're crazy. And like, Stompery is not that deep. He left a second note under the "You're my dog" note that says, please bring back, the dogs are low on food. It's so telling that the only thing he put no effort into this lunch. The only effort he made. There was no love note, I love you. There's no note whatsoever. The only note that he put was on the bag of dog food, which is also the only thing that had any effort because nothing else was packaged. Nothing else had a Ziploc, Tupperware, portioned out, nothing. The dog food was portioned out. The dog food. And the dog food had a personal note telling her she's his dog. Oh my God, I just made the connection now. This is literally, they think you're their dog. You are my dog. Oh my God, I literally didn't even make that connection till just now to the other example. This is like an improv scene. It's full circle, baby. They do think you're their dog. Although they'd make more effort with their dog, because at least they feed their dog until you come into the picture. Then they want you to feed them and take care of them and do all the work around the dog. But at least if they have their own dog without you, they will feed the dog. They have to take the dog out. They have to maybe take it to the vet if he's sick. They won't even do that for you. You're less than a dog. They love on that dog. Meanwhile, they won't even talk to you. Now, they won't fork the dog, but they're not even forking you. They're forking the OnlyFans girl or like someone else in their head. You're just a hole. You're just a hole to a lot of these dudes. God. What is it, Mose? Oh, your eye is drooping again. It's been a long summer. He's so tired. Look at him. So ladies, if you don't have food and your husband has to bring you lunch, just know that you're going to get lots of food as well as maybe a cute note. This is not what you're going to get. I hope to God you can see this stuff early on. See it for what it is, because it starts with lazy ass texting. If that is their energy right out of the gate, if even like in the beginning stages, before you've even moved it off the app, when you're texting on the app, if his first message is lazy, don't bother. That's entitlement. That's not just laziness, it's like entitlement. I don't want to have to work for this. Or it's just a copy and pasted message like, what's your favorite superhero? Or if you had a superpower, what would it be? Do you know how many times I got that dumb message? Copied and pasted to probably 100 other girls the same day. No creativity whatsoever. Nothing specific about me. First message out of the gate is like that. You're going to end up with a lunch like that. If the texting out of the gate is you having to carry the conversation, you're going to end up with a man just like that. The laziness is rooted in entitlement and him thinking he's the prize. And if he's making this little effort from the beginning, it is only going to get worse. And if you have to ask all the questions, if he doesn't bother carrying the emotion, the mental load, the emotional labor of holding a conversation, asking you about yourself, answering questions with a yes and, because you are building a conversation together, that man is lazy, he's entitled, he'll treat you like crap, don't bother. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. By the way, I have kind of a semi column now. I have a column of a column, the What the Hell Mel playlist. But if you want my advice on anything that you're like texts you've gotten, if you want my advice on stuff, you can submit stuff to at melaniehamlet.com. That's my website. There's a submission place there, because I like to respond to people who write into columns. But you know what? I would like for y'all to be able to also write in. And also my Patreon. That's how I'm able to make all these videos, is because Patreon people are literally that's what's paying my bills now at this point, because the algorithms and everything, these apps don't pay, not right now. So Patreon, thank you Patreon people. We have lives, watch parties, and I have a Q&A coming up soon. I do travel content, and all my more personal stories are over there. Anyway, thank you Patreon people. Thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notifications, all that good stuff. And let me know in the comments any advice, any stories, or whatever. Comments always help boost into the algorithm. But also, I love reading the comments, and this community is awesome. Love y'all. Thank you. Let me know if you heard the comment song. Big ass grapes, future wine. What the hell? This is where that shit's grown in France. Yeah, this is where some of the wine is grown. Like, what the fork? Seriously? Wine. Seriously, wine in these mountains. I was there last week camping on my little solo trip with Mose. There he is. Comment song. I'm talking about a lot of this on Patreon, the camping stuff and other travels and personal stories and much more over there. Look at that wine. Oh my God, I don't even drink wine, but I wish I did, so I can know what all these grapes taste like when they're liquid and make you crazy and kind of fun. Join my Patreon if you can.